May I have a recorded vote, please, Chair?
Okay. Recorded vote.
Over and over, that's what Liberal MPP Ted Hsu asks for as a committee goes through last amendments to Bill 5. He worked for days to come up with more than 4,000 amendments, a last-ditch attempt to send a message about the bill.
MPP Cuzero, MPP Dowie, MPP Gallagher-Murphy, MPP...
Again and again, a clerk has to rattle off the names of those voting. Hsu says this isn't just political shenanigans.
This is not delay for delay's sake. This is a delay to defend democracy. We're telling Doug Ford, stop, take the summer, consult properly, and come back after the summer with a good bill that protects Indigenous rights, that respects environmental protection.
Those in favor of the motion will please rise.
The government is speeding this bill through. Today, voting to reduce final debate time, cutting discussion at committee.
I feel like I'm just sitting like that. And that's it. And that's the way the committee works. And that's the way this government is passing this bill, without the proper processes in place.
Yesterday, hundreds of Indigenous people showed their opposition to the bill, their leaders upset they weren't properly consulted. The bill would fast-track the government's priority projects, including mining in the Ring of Fire, that remote area a part of several First Nations.
History.
In question period, the NDP's Saul Mamakwa brought up Dudley George, an Indigenous activist shot and killed by the OPP in a standoff at Ipperwash 30 years ago. George's sister also spoke at yesterday's rally.
I ask the Premier, is your government ready to face the disruption that Bill 5 will cause?
The Premier obviously unimpressed.
That is really unfortunate. The NDP member, I emphasize the NDP member, wants to speak this way. We want a collaborative relationship with our First Nations communities.
The minister responsible says the consultation will happen after the bill passes.
And what we hope to start, Madam Speaker, is the duty to consult and ensure that First Nations become full partners in economic and community-based opportunities.
Amendment 14.0.0.74.
It'll be another late night for the committee, the same one the NDP filibustered last week. Tonight, it can sit until midnight. Despite all this, Bill 5 is still expected to pass later this week. Lorenda Redicomp, CBC News, Toronto.
I understand that it'll be handed over the TTC in the next couple weeks.
When asked by reporters, the Premier said the Eglinton Crosstown Light Rail transit line is on track to open this September.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing some positive things about the Eglinton track, and hopefully we'll be handing it over in the next couple of weeks to the TTC, and they'll be doing their trial runs, and thank God. That's all I got to say about that.
But some business owners say they've heard it all before and they're frustrated. Like Jason McDonald, who's owned a barbershop in Toronto's Little Jamaica neighborhood for 26 years.
You haven't given me a date, and I was told this in 2015 by the Dalton McGitney and Catherine Wynne. I was told this in 2018 by Mr. Tory. So it's 2025 now. Is it Mr. Ford's turn?
Meanwhile, Eglinton residents in Scarborough say they aren't holding their breath.
Well, I've been waiting this long. As the old saying goes, I'll believe it when I see it, you know. It's very frustrating.
And so if it does finally open, how are you going to feel about it then?
Well, I'll be relieved, to put it that way. I mean, because as I said before, I walk out of my building and it stops right in front of my building. So it's going to be nice and convenient.
Everyone we spoke to says they are looking forward to the line finally opening, but some feel the province and Metrolinx need to make amends to businesses affected by the long delays.
Which date will Mr. Ford or whomever is in charge of Metrolinx decide to give donation or compensation to the small businesses of Little Jamaica? This is 15 years of this LRT experiment. We've suffered from small business disruptions, both financially and culturally, rat infestation, dirt and debris, safety and concerns. The list is on and on.
Some Eglinton area BIAs banded together years ago to demand compensation from Metrolinx. The result was a $3 million fund from the provincial government. But McDonald says it didn't go far enough and no further compensation has been offered since. CBC Toronto reached out to both Metrolinx and the TTC for comment on this story. Metrolinx didn't respond by the deadline given, and the TTC says it has no new updates at this time. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
A man is dead and at least 5 others injured after a shooting last night near Lawrence and Allen Road. Clara Pasica is at the scene just south of Yorkdale Mall. Clara, still a very active situation there today. What's the latest?
Well, Dwight, many residents are just shocked that this has all unfolded just steps from their homes. I'm right next to a multi-building housing complex next to Allen Road. That's the sound barrier behind me. And a lot of this seems to have transpired on this path. So you can see this crisscrossing of police tape behind me. We've spotted as many as 88 evidence markers, though there may be even more than that we just can't spot. It was about 8:30 last night. Multiple shots and multiple people who were hit by these bullets. We know that paramedics and police responded to this scene, but a man has died. Mike Cole is the ward's counselor, and he's someone who actually knew this man. Have a listen.
He was a longtime resident. The tragedy is that he was wheelchair bound. I mean, the disgusting shooting of a man in a wheelchair, no matter what, just shows how totally disgusting this whole thing is. There was about 25 shots fired. There was a mad scramble by some of the intended victims to get away. There was a number of people that were hit by bullets. Thankfully, none of them are in life-threatening situations. They were, brought to local hospitals.
So we know that 5 other individuals were taken to local hospitals, 4 men and 1 woman, all with non-life-threatening injuries. Police saying that they range in age from 18 to 40 years old. Now, multiple residents, of course, saw this, heard this, are now seeing the aftermath of it. Obviously, a lot of concern in this community, and that it happened at 8:30 in the evening, a time when many people are out and about. Have a listen.
I was scared. I mean, I wasn't expecting that because even my boyfriend was like, this area is really safe, so why that happened here, we don't know.
Puddles of blood, people being given life-saving procedures. Probably witnessed someone lose their life today, which is insane. And it's just surreal because you don't think that this type of thing would happen in Canada.
So lots of concern that we heard from those residents. There are others who also didn't want to appear on camera, but sharing their concerns and that this happened, so close to homes, places where families are. Some people also expressing that, young people need safe places for them to hang out in this community. We know that Lawrence Heights is going through and has been going through a revitalization project to try and improve that. Some people saying that those efforts not moving fast enough. We also know that there's a lot that we don't know about this situation. The suspects, we don't know very many details from police about who they're looking for. We know that multiple vehicles were seen fleeing the scene, so we don't even know necessarily how many people they're looking for, which is also certainly a concern. But police have maintained a significant presence here. Forensics is, of course, here gathering evidence along with police officers, really just surrounding this quite considerable scene that has remained for now many, many hours since yesterday evening.
Yeah, we can see the officers doing their work there behind you. Certainly a terrifying night for the residents of that community. Thank you, Clara.
Toronto police announcing today they've made 10 arrests in connection with the March shooting at the Piper Arms pub near Scarborough Town Centre.
3 suspects entered the pub and opened fire inside. 9 people were shot, and other people were injured as a result. No one was killed, which is truly a miracle. But the effects of this mass shooting remain devastating for the victims and for the sense of safety in our communities.
Our Greg Ross was at that announcement. He joins us live from Toronto Police Headquarters. And Greg, investigators revealing some disturbing video of that shooting today and a warning to viewers. We will be showing some of that. Can you take us through it?
Well, Calda, today police detailing a string of shootings that they say are all connected. It was because of evidence that they were able to uncover from that investigation into the shooting on March 7th at the Piper Arms Pub in Scarborough that they were able to connect all of these shootings together. On that night, as you heard, 3 armed men wearing masks walked into the Piper Arms Pub and began shooting at a crowd of people that were inside. Today, police releasing graphic video from the pub showing the moment the shooters opened fire. Again, this may be difficult for some viewers to watch. 9 people were shot. Some sustained life-altering injuries. 12 people in total were injured. Fortunately, nobody was killed. The 3 suspects that you see in that video, they fled the scene. Now, that shooting, of course, launched a massive investigation by Toronto police that they dubbed Project Nighthawk. And what police quickly began to realize is that that March 7th shooting was connected to a number of other shootings around Toronto. Police say there were at least 4 other shootings that were connected to that March 7th shooting. And they say that they are also, those 4 other shootings are connected to an ongoing turf war in the tow truck industry. Here's what Toronto Police Superintendent Paul McIntyre had to say about that connection.
The group of people that we identified as being part of the tow truck shootings have also done the pub shooting. Whether that was a one-off, the reasons that they did it, we're still investigating that. But the only link right now is the same group of individuals doing all of these shootings. The tow truck ones are obviously related. The only connection we have right now to the pub is the people that we have arrested also did that shooting. We're still looking at reasons why they did that, and that's still a very active investigation.
Now, these 4 other shootings, they all happened just days before that shooting at the Piper Arms Pub. Police released video of a couple of those shootings as well. One of them on March 4th. And you can see a car pulls up alongside a tow yard in near Weston Road and St. Clair Avenue. People inside the car then open fire on a man standing inside the tow yard. That car then turns around, and once again, people began firing into the tow yard. Police tell us that the vehicle used in that shooting was stolen. Police also released video from later that night when the same suspects pull into a gas station near Lawrence Avenue and Warden Avenue. One of them gets out of the car, approaches a man who is washing his truck, and again, they open fire on that man. He tries to flee, and 2 shooters eventually shoot him in the parking lot of that gas station. Now, police say there are a group of 11 young males who are responsible for these shootings. And while at this point, the shooting at the Piper Arms Pub has not been connected to the tow truck industry, they say that the suspects in all 5 of these shootings are connected, Kelda.
And Greg, do police believe this to be gang-related?
You know, that's a question that was asked to police today, and police say none of the accused have any known ties to gangs, but they say they are friendly with each other. Here's how they describe the relationship.
Right now, we can't classify these people as a gang. They're not a gang. They're not the definition of a gang. They're just a collective of a bunch of guys that got together and they're doing these shootings. But no, they're certainly not a gang.
Any idea whether they're simply being hired to carry these shootings out?
That's something that we're looking at right now, of course, yeah.
Yes, you heard there, police are investigating whether or not they are simply hired guns that were brought in by people from the tow truck industry in that turf war. Now, police say 10 of the suspects have already been arrested and are in custody. There is one man, an 11th suspect, who is still outstanding. His name is Daquan Joseph. He's 20 years old from Toronto. Now, the 11 suspects range in age from 15 years old to 22 years old. They are all very young men. In total, those suspects are facing 203 charges. Those charges include 24 counts of attempted murder, multiple counts of possession of a firearm with intent, multiple counts of possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000. Remember, many of the cars that were used in these shootings were stolen cars, and there are also multiple counts of failed to comply with a probation order. So several of these young suspects were known to police, had been charged with previous offenses, Kelda.
Great, thanks so much for all this, Greg. Greg Ross reporting live outside Toronto Police Headquarters tonight.